Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, y'all. I'm back live. I don't know what the heck happened. I pushed something. I had to change out devices, but anyway, what I was talking about was the black church. Was all these idiosyncrasies that didn't have really nothing to do with nothing. I got some feedback, and basically all I was really saying, black churches used to be like the internet before the internet. You go for jobs, you go for to buy wares, you go to black church to create your own business, to get some startup, some Kickstarter money to create your business. And now it's just not that. They're just sitting up there getting fat, getting rich, exploiting people, inflicting mental health issues on people, ostracizing people, and it ain't that no more, you know what I mean? I mean, if you're a Christian, I'm not, dogging Christian values, but there are some black churches out there that do know what the people need and have programs, vocational skills training programs, have financial literacy boot camps, investing clubs. You got to really look for them, but the majority of them don't. And I just really got tired of all this rhetoric, that the black church is teaching these days. We're seeing molestation, like stuff that happened innocently, like a little 10-year-old girl, and just be like crushing on one of the deacons. Be like, I'm going to marry you when I grow up. And then a couple years later, she 12, 13. She's going to start filling out. Now she's deacons taking her to Mickey D's and movies. Then 16, 17, he's like 40, 50, late 40s, 50s. Then 16, he's giving her money, buying her clothes now. Then at 19, he's like 60 and he marries her. So from like 16 all the way up to 19, he was sexing her. But they use that scripture verse to, cover it up, cover up the foulness. And some more rhetoric, like just, they be having you think things mean things and they don't. Like, just some simple stuff. They don't have nothing to do with nothing like, the finger. Like everybody knows what the finger means when you put the finger up. See how the black church done distorted that. Do you really even know where the finger origins really originated from? They got you thinking that's a sign of manners. That ain't no sign of manners. You don't need to broadcast that you're going to take a piss or a shit. Putting your finger up to go to the toilet. You know where that originated from? That originated from slave times. Like after they freed us from slaves, putting up your finger when you walked to the bathroom, that was a form of head count. The deacon and the armor bearer would just take a little mental note because they didn't have indoor plumbing yet. They had to go outside to the outhouse. And so you put your finger up and they're just mentally taking the head count. And, the service goes on for however long. If you're 10 or 15 minutes longer, they're coming out, the deacon and the armor bearer. In the case you don't know what an armor bearer is, the guy with the gun. They're coming out to check on you, to see if you hadn't got ambushed while you're using the toilet, to see if a woman ain't got raped by one of them Caucasians, or, somebody lynched somebody in the woods, because the outhouse is a few miles away from the church, little, outside in the deep woods down south. That was the purpose of the finger, but black church then turned it into it means manners. That's the only point I was really trying to make about, the foolishness going on in the church these days. I'm not dogging Christianity or, nobody's faith, or I'm just saying how much it done fell off since then. It used to be, the savior for our people, to inspire us, to save us, to help liberate us. And nowadays, most of them is just like a total joke. That's all was my only speaking point for last week. So, it is what it is. But my speaking points for this evening, it's going to be really brief to the point. Like I said, it's going to be a light bite. Let's talk about it. PNB Rock. He got killed. PNB got killed. I'm going to be honest, I was not familiar with the brother. I never saw an interview from him until he got killed. I never heard his music. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm definitely getting tired of this in hip-hop. But I'm getting even more tired of the narrative. So what's being said is, his girlfriend gave up his Addy, dropped his location on his phone. So I'm just tired of the narrative, like, in hip hop, when the artist dies, it's always, they was jealous of him. They was jealous of his success. They was jealous of, he was on television. They killed him because of his money or whatever. It's not that all the time. So if he gets killed by, listen, record labels have been killing artists since all the way back in the vinyl days, like the 40s, 50s, 60s. Televisions too, movie stars too, they off people, put these insurance contracts on. And it's very easy in hip hop to make it look like a gang beef, or to make it look like, they jealous of him, so they want to kill him. It's very easy to, push that narrative. But my unpopular opinion, as far as dropping the location, these cellular phones are not infallible. Man is not infallible. So therefore, man created the cell phones. So by, transient laws of property, the cell phone is not infallible. So there's all kinds of glitches and, twitches that go on with the cell phone. I know you've done butt dialed somebody. I know, walking around with your phone in your pocket, playing with your phone all day, you done accidentally cut on your Bluetooth, accidentally cut on your location. You're broadcasting somewhere and then your location button comes up on the smartphone. They're very sensitive, is what I'm saying. Just like, I guess I already talked about it earlier for charity work, but just to, illustrate a point I'm making, Cardi B, she had a photo glitch with the cell phone, and everybody got to see the titty. Got to see her titties. Hey, y'all remember that sketch on Living Color, David Allen Greer? She got big breasts. Okay, I'm goofy. I don't know. That was just funny to me. It's still funny after all these years. But my point I'm making about that is stuff happens on the cell phone. And then also another factor is, somebody could have hacked the cell phone and cut the person that put the hit out on them might have hacked the cell phone remotely and turned on his location. Because, like, you can hack people's phones. Like, all you really need is somebody's phone number. Like, that's not outside of the realm of possibility. You can hack somebody's phone, bro. You hack their, if you can hack their Facebook and whatever, like, all you need is somebody's phone number. If you got hack skills, you can, like, mess with their phone, do all kinds of stuff with it. Like, cut off game apps, like, right when you're playing the game, and then, you know, the tell sign of when your phone's being hacked is when you can't keep a battery charge. That means somebody done hacked your phone. You can't never stay on full. So there's that. So, anyway, check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, see with these phones, because I had to switch up on my device when I was broadcasting live. So these phones is not. I had to switch whole devices while I was broadcasting live because, like, I don't know what I hit. And he just stopped broadcasting. But anyway, that's another thing that could have happened. What was I saying? Okay, that's all I had for PNB Rock. I really didn't know the brother. I'm sorry that he's gone. I'm seeing, all the interviews and all his music now that he's passed away, which is yet another thing to prove that these record labels be doing it, because now, especially if they got a 360 deal, they're getting a piece of everything. If they own his publishing, this is another reason why a theory of why they kill artists, because they're worth more dead than they are alive. Because their whole catalog skyrockets, all their interviews start going viral. People start making all this merch, all these T-shirts and belts with the artist likeness. They get a piece of all that, and they know it. But I'm gonna put a pin in it right there for PNB Rock, R.I.P. PNB Rock. Like I said, I wasn't familiar with the brother. I didn't really, I was on the late freight on his music. I try to stay as relevant as I can. I'm in my 40s. Like, I try to, listen and not become a fogey. But like all this new stuff that be coming out, I can't just listen to everything because I can't get the wave for everything. I can't get in the vibe. I can't make myself like something I don't like. But anyway, the few little interviews that I did see of him that start coming up in my feed, like, the brother was like really astute intellectual, and I think he probably would have went really far, would have elevated the game, would have created some opportunities. And that's too bad that he's gone now. All right. So my very last thing I want to unpack is the Tiffany Haddish, Aries Spears thing. Just from my perspective, it always seems like whenever original people do something, it's like we get drugged for eternity. So I'm not saying like, the molestation, the skit, everybody's talking about the skit, the stroking, and they receive prompts and all that. I mean, it's breaking news, so you already know what they're saying. But ain't nothing new under the sun. Like, it's Hollywood. They do that. Corey Feldman has been outing the Hollywood pedophile ring for years. Most recently, Todd Bridges had said something about somebody, his producer, somebody tried him when he was a youngin'. So it's out there, baby. It's out there. It's in our face. They suggest it in like cartoons, movies, like Disney, like all the pedophilia in Disney. Are you kidding me? Like storybooks, all the Mother Goose stories kind of got pedophilia in it. What is that one story? The Pied Piper of Hamelin? Come on. It's been in our face years. Like, you know what I mean? That agenda, adults being with children. This is something they do in Hollywood. Now, I don't know why they did that skit. I don't know why they thought that might be like funny. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said on my with my platform, I don't try to do the speculation. I'm just unpacking it from the perspective of, why is it the worst thing ever when we get accused of something and, these filthy beasts been doing it forever, all throughout eternity, and ain't nobody batted an eyelash. I mean, like, look at Woody Allen. Look at the guy, the father from, I forget his real life character's name, or what his real name is, but Google it. The father from Seventh Heaven, like one of the most wholesome shows on television, he had, a pedophile past. So I'm not seeing, you know what I mean? Like anytime we do something like years and years ago, like that joke, it was a joke. The context of it, I don't know. It just seems like when we do something, they blow it all the way out of proportion. And when everybody else does something, like when I'm saying everybody else, I'm saying Caucasian people, when they do it, it's just like nobody bats an eyelash. Now, what they did in that skit, that ain't compared. Like, are you kidding me? All these cartoons, like they got freaking all these agendas on Disney. But that's the red flag. They got to get sued all them millions of dollars. That's the red flag. What they did. Their little, like not even a whole minute snippet. So it's not right. It's definitely, I'm not excusing it, but I'm definitely saying there is like, a double standard. Like when we do it, it's the worst thing in the world. Like, oh my God, everybody's outraged. But anytime somebody does something to us, nobody's outraged. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for listening to the Narrative Podcast. Tune in this weekend for another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Support my poetry blog, Halsey's Poetry Corner, at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. And I check you guys out next week. Support my poetry blog by posting it to all your platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your TikTok. That's all I have for this week or today. I really went over, but just something to think about. Join me this weekend for another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Halsey Allen and the Narrative Podcast signing off. See you this weekend.